Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Separate to Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Coach Juice, aka Julian Baldi. Season 2, first time interview episode. Where are we at? DeLaCruz Sports Performance, my guy Ben DeLaCruz. So just real quick, how we met. Once I moved down here for the WWE in Orlando, I was looking for a gym, and somebody told me to get here. Shout out Dave. And I gotta say, Ben opened me with open arms, and said, Julian, hey, he gave me a facility to train. I'm so grateful. This is, in my hands down, the best facility in Orlando. Ben is a great guy, consider you a great friend now. And Ben, just tell people who you are and what you do real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Julian before he came in. His social media presence was crazy. I respected what he went through. You know, I played college football as well. I respected what he was trying to do. I respected his hustle. So I knew he would fit in perfectly with what we do here. So it was a pleasure. And
thank you.
You know, I do consider you a friend as well.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we're DeLaCruz Sports Performance. I've been doing this for 13 years now. Been in business 7 years. Played college football at Eastern Kentucky University. I was a quarterback, a receiver, and a DB. I played a bunch of positions. My passion has always been lifting. I always loved that. And as I got closer, you know, in my senior year of football, I loved training more than actually playing. So that's how I kind of knew this was for me. This was my itch. And I was always the best performer in the gym, you know, and I was actually really good in football as well. I just, you know, things happen and life doesn't go as you plan.
Yeah.
So I knew that this was my calling. So as soon as I graduated, I interned with a guy that used to train me as an athlete. Just got because you know, this is more than just training people. Like, you have to be a person. You have to understand people. You have to grind. You have to be on your feet 10 hours a day. You have to train, unload and load weights, write numbers down, count tempos, count reps. So a lot of people coming into the industry think that they're better than that. They don't have to learn how to do that. That's the most important as a coach, is knowing how to count tempo correctly, knowing how to load and not load weight. So I did that for about a year and a half. I interned with him, then he hired me, and then I ended up doing my own thing. And I was very football only kind of guy. That's all I knew my identity was football. So I knew I had to find myself. So I went and I got help and worked on myself, found who I was, and then I started this literally the month after I went through all that. Had to learn how to sell, talk to people, learn how to be who I was, because all I knew was football.
So you say there's more behind just training?
Yeah, there's way more. I mean, you can be the greatest programmer in the world, write the best workout out, but if I can't sit here and explain it to you and tell you what you're going to go through and know what your mindset is and know what your goal is and adapt to what you are, the workout's not going to be anything. So that's why sometimes people don't value coaches, people don't value training programs, they value the cost of it. They think something's cheaper, I'm going to go there. It doesn't always mean it's better. So that's why, you know, me finding out who I was, I built this off of who I am and what I believe.
But sorry to cut you off, but good. In regards to prices, I see a lot of athletes expend this and that, but people don't understand the value. It's not just like the training, it's the experience over the years that you have learned. And like, you look at somebody and you can literally like change their performance physique like that. And that then allows them to get paid millions or get a Division I scholarship that's worth $300,000, you know what I mean? So like, this is just nothing. It's just, I feel like this strength and conditioning is the biggest investment an athlete could put into themselves to make it. Because that was our struggle in the beginning when I was still in Italy or just got here to the United States. My training was like just like doing it by myself, thinking I knew it all, just like going online, writing some random ass workouts. And then it really, I wouldn't say destroyed my performance, but I've never been to where I'm today without the right training, the right coaching, and the right mentors to be in this position.
Coaching is what you said, because you could do a random workout that someone gives you, but I can guarantee you get a coach that knows what they're doing and bring the intensity, it can make it 10 times harder.
100%.
And, you know, a lot of athletes, I've dealt with tons of athletes, pros to middle school kids, high school kids, college kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm luckily at my point now in my career, in my business, I don't really have to negotiate on the price because they know what we do.
Yeah.
They know the success that we get with our program and our clients that we have. But in the past, when I first started, I had to like prove myself.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even charging what I charge now and I was 6 years ago because I knew I had nothing to show for it. I still don't have much to show for it. I mean, I still have things I need to do in the industry. I still want to.
He's a humble guy. He's a humble guy.
You still have to keep looking yourself in the face every day and like say, okay, you ain't shit, keep grinding. Because
I agree, but like sometimes I feel like because I do that a lot, and sometimes I overdo it, and then like my confidence goes down the drain, and like I'm nobody. Like I don't feel like I deserve certain things.
It's not really not having confidence in myself. I have complete confidence in myself. It's just more about, you know, I can't get complacent because there's going to be someone out there that's going to want to do better than what I'm doing. There's someone out there learning better methods or better ways to make these athletes better. Yeah. So if I get complacent, oh cool, I have these NFL guys, these MLB guys, I've made it, then I'm going to lose out on my intensity, what makes me a great coach. Yeah. That's why sometimes, you know, athletes will go somewhere that's easy because they'll just be able to do the workout and not get challenged. And not be pushed the way they want to be pushed because they feel they've made it because they're a pro or a high level college or high school guy. But when you take great athletes and push them to their limit and know what they need to do to get better, they get better. And so you need to find a coach that does that. And that's why sometimes you pay for the coaching, you really don't pay for the program because the coaching is what separates everything. Yeah. Like I will hire someone, I don't care if they have a master's, a bachelorate, or nothing. But if they have years and years of coaching experience of like high level people in groups and of just grinding out coaching, I'll take them over an educated person. Because I can teach them my methods. I can teach them to be smart in the way of strength and conditioning. But coaching is an art. Coaching is something that I value. That I can go from training you, then training an eighth grader to a high schooler and a 45-year-old mom that wants to be in shape. I can change the way I am and how I coach them just off of experience, and that's what makes a great coach. So, in your experience, the number one thing you're looking into, like coaches right now, is being coachable and having that art of coaching. Right? If you want to like grow in this industry, you have to put away any of your like on the shit, I'm the greatest, and open your mind to learn. 100%. Because if you don't, you're never gonna make it far. Because I mean, I could be that way, but I know I have a lot to learn still. I have a lot to achieve still. And if I ever go into something closed-minded, then I'm never gonna get better. I mean, I could find something from somebody. Anything, So some of these people that I'll get that are young in the industry that just come out of college and they have zero training experience and they want to get paid like someone that's been doing it for 10 years or they want to have responsibility or they want their first pro guy. I'm like, that's funny because it takes years to get them. Yeah. And it takes years to see reps in me. And all this stuff was taught to me by my mentor. Yeah. And that got me to really see it. And then I put it into practice of what I'm doing. And then I'm like, holy crap. Like, there is a difference, separate to elevate. Like, you have to separate yourself. See, I was trying to go there, but he did it himself. You know, like, you have to separate yourself from the norm to elevate your business in your life. So if you keep trying to, like, be someone that you're not, you're never going to elevate yourself. Exactly. And could you give the people just some examples how you separate yourself from the pack, from all these wannabe coaches, these Instagram... I mean, I've been doing it in my own business for 7 years. So a total of 13 years I've been doing this industry, and I've done every kind of program you can think of, any type of West Side Conjugate, the standard underlaying polarization, all that stuff, block, everything, and I've done all of it, and it's worked. Yeah. And it's worked, and it's gotten great results, but. I've always thought there was better ways to train, and that's for me. I've always found the way. I've always learned from people. I've always went and reached out. Okay, what is this guy doing? He's had 30 years of experience training high-level hockey players, NFL players, track runners, and he's in business 30 years. Like he's doing something right. And then you go learn from these people, and you're like, holy shit! Like that actually makes complete sense what he's doing. Then if they go learn from someone else, the same thing, but that doesn't make sense, then I wash it away. So I keep what I can use, I discard where I don't. And for me, I'm always learning. Like I think what separates me from people is that, yes, I have this big gym now. I started from 800 square foot little warehouse to now I'm in a 5,000 square foot gym.
I was just about to say that a year ago, we weren't here. We were in a little warehouse not across the street, but down the road. And now we're in this big facility.
That was bigger than my first one. So like I started from a little storage unit. Like,
exactly.
So if I would have never learned and put in the hours and took chances and bet on myself in certain areas, I would have never got where I'm at.
Exactly. So you're saying is have an open mind, be willing to learn every day. And find a mentor that allows you to have an open.
Find a mentor that's gonna teach you and not just collect money from you. Like, you gotta find a mentor that's gonna teach you, and you're gonna take what he's teaching you and you're gonna use it instead of just taking it. Okay, I got the information, but I'm never gonna apply it.
100%.
You know, and what separates me is that I live and breathe this. Like I have. Another thing too, I have a very supportive and wonderful wife, Stephanie. Like
shout out Stephanie.
She lets me and helps me run this business and be successful. Without her, I wouldn't be as successful as I am. And we have a 3-year-old son. Shout out Diego. And he, that's my world too. Like I will let this all go to make sure he's happy and good. But my wife is the rock of this business, runs it, and she's letting me go and explore and figure myself out in business and help me grow. My 100% success in this from now till when I'm done has to do with her. So what I'm saying is, I have a really good support staff at home. I have a really good family that supports me. So that also helps me know that, okay, I can take chances and learn and take chances in my business, knowing that I have someone that's going to be behind my back and it's going to tell me, hey, that's wrong. Don't do that. I know you, Ben. Don't do that. Okay, call me out. I need that. Thank you. Or you need, like, when I doubt myself, I don't know if I should try this with this athlete. I don't know, man. Like, I'm scared to go learn from this guy. I don't know. Do it. You're good. Or like, when I have moments in my career where, like, I'm not getting a certain amount of clientele I want to get, I'm not attracting the right people, or my business is going down in sales a little bit, or I feel like I'm falling behind, she's always there to tell me, remind me of what I've been at, where I've been, and it's helped me.
Sometimes we forget who we are and what we've done to get to a certain
and can't do that. You cannot create a business or be a trainer and be someone you're not, because they're going to find out, especially elite athletes are going to pick that out and be like, you're not being real. So if they can pick up that you're not being yourself, they're not going to trust you when you're training them. Right? And you're not going to be able to explain your methods and explain what you're doing if you're not being real, if you're not being honest.
Exactly. No, and I mean, one big thing you said is having a support system, because similar to you, my wife, shout out Mia. She allows me to be fully focused on the goal, the mission, whatever it is, to like put my whole being into it. And like knowing that at home I'll be okay because I have my wife taking care of things. I think that's a big factor, just being allowed to yourself to like go.
And too, like my wife also, Stephanie also got me to take days off. To
same,
because when we first met, I was working Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day. I'd never took to this day we still haven't taken vacation because I've been just grinding, and I promise we're gonna take one. But she's just been there. So having that person that's gonna also like tell you need a break. Like take a deep breath, take a break. That also helps because you're human. You think you're invincible, and like I love this. I'll never change this for my life. But I know that there's some days I'm like, fuck, I gotta be here again today. I need a break.
Okay. With that being said, do you wake up? I wouldn't say, because especially for me, like during my whole football career, like trying to make it, I had moments where like for like 3 months straight, I woke up and I'm like, you know what, man, F this. I don't want to do like, I just want to quit. And then not even those 3 months, for like my whole career, like even like sometimes I wake up, man, you know what? I just want to quit it all and go home and live an average life. But then I got this little voice like, no, motherfucker, let's work.
Yeah.
How do you have those moments? Do you wake up some days and like you just want to quit it all and go live in a farm somewhere or something like that?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I wake up every day.
Well,
I mean, I have it in a different way.
Okay.
I wake up every day excited to come here. Like, okay, it's Monday. We have Isometrics day. Let's get it. Like, I'm ready to get everyone. Every day of the week, you know, the phases that everyone's training. Like, I'm in it. I love it. I will never have like I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I look and I'm like, you know, I want to spend a little more time with my son, my wife. I want to spend a little more time with them. So there's some times where I realize, okay, if I can alter my schedule to where I can be with them more, and still get my intensity and my fix I need here, then I try to alter. So sometimes I get up and I'm like, okay, here's my schedule. Where can I adjust it to where I can be with my wife and son a little longer today? When I kind of come home a little earlier and put them to sleep, you know, stuff like that. So now I don't want to say I'm done with it, but I've kind of like want to get a better schedule so I can be a father and a husband as well as
the question I was trying to ask, were there moments in your career where you thought, oh, it's going to be over with?
My senior year of football, I kind of like, I didn't hate it, but I was like, practice, like, fuck it, I don't want to do this. I'd rather go lift. I'd rather go learn more about this stuff. And, you know, there's sometimes in college I wanted to go home. Like, I was in Kentucky my senior year, and I knew, you know, coaches had their opinions on stuff, and I wasn't going to be playing where I should be, and I'm like, okay, you know what, like, I could just go in this negative, and there's moments where I thought, I'm not even going to fucking try to practice, like, what's the point of this, I'm on scholarship, I'm almost done graduating, whatever, but then, like, a little voice in my head was like, you know, Ben, no, you're better than this, you guys finish what you did, and then I went out and I had a great senior year, what I was allowed to do, and you know, but
you got NFL in camp.
A little bit. I had some stuff like that, but that wasn't serious. I was ready.
I mean, still, it's an accomplishment.
I was ready to be done, and you know, and as soon as I graduated, I just came back, and I'm like, you know what, let's just do this now. I mean, when I graduated, and then football was done. I was training, so I haven't stopped since 2013.
And I mean, results show.
I mean, there's different ways you can get there, but that was the way I did it, and that was the only way I knew that I could do it and be honest with myself.
How do you think your football career and you playing football has shaped you in being a strength and conditioning coach, or a sports performance coach?
It made me disciplined in the sense of always being on time, showing up on time, being punctual, because, you know, we had meetings. If you were late, you're in trouble. If you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. So that old saying. So I always make sure of always being early, always being punctual, always being prepared. You know, I treat like a client like a game plan. You know, I'm all right. So he has this or she has this and this. We have this time frame. Right, here's a game plan. Like I go into it approaching that a system. You know, but the football mentality, you know, it kind of didn't fit my lifestyle. The 100% aggressiveness, you know, all go, no rest. Like I realized that, you know, I hope it's changing, but the way the college football people are training them, it's doing more harm than good in my opinion. These guys are freak athletes. You know, they don't need the constant, you know, 10 by 10 of, you know, power cleans and 1 RM max effort squats all the time. Like, they don't need all that. They need to be more transferred to their sport and be an athlete. That's what they're there for. So for me, in the beginning, I did that because all I knew. But then I started to realize, you know, the athletes I got and the results I wasn't getting, to the point where I'm like, it doesn't make sense. I should be getting that. It clicked. Like, there's a better way to do this.
How would you say? Because first of all, let's go into like your system methodology. What type of system do you currently follow or have you developed? Just to get
I follow a thing called the quad current, the omni contraction. It was taught to me by my mentor Ben Prentice. Shout out Ben Prentice. Love that guy. He's changed my life, like personally and business wise. Like he made me into the coach I am. I mean, for 4 years I've been doing his system. That he didn't invent the omni contraction. He invented the quad current, which is his form of it. And funny thing enough, I told him when I first met him that I thought of doing full bodies with people before.
Yeah.
I thought of it, but I thought it was bullcrap, so I didn't do it. So when I met him, it just instantly clicked. Like, we get the same mentality.
Could you explain to the people why full body?
So
for sports performance.
Full body, so that your sport is playing a full body contraction, right? So why don't you train that way? One, you get more frequency of upper and lower every day, so you get more adaptability, you get better results. And your sport is played that way, so the contractions on each day of upper and lower body is going to potentiate each other and you're going to get in better overall shape without having to do so much conditioning. And you're going to get stronger faster, and you're going to have a better outcome than just doing upper and lower body splits.
Perfect. See, and then I'm big into observing. Whatever gym I go to, I'll observe to see what style, methods, techniques. And one thing that I've noticed, especially being here at DeLaCruz Sports Performance, what you guys do the most of any other gym I went to is isometrics.
Yeah.
Could we talk about, because why is it so big for you guys here?
It's not like the main thing.
No, but there's a lot more than usual.
You've been seeing it because a lot of our kids came off the season.
Okay.
So it's GPP, so it's general prep. So it's ISO. So people get mad about that, saying that's not GPP. It is. So we do. And I learned that from my mentor, Ben. Like, I was against it too. I'm like, there's no way. Then it made complete sense. So like ISOs, there's long duration, there's pausing, there's overcoming. So this could be a whole nother podcast.
I know. Let's keep it.
We do long duration to help prepare the tissues, help get them in joint-specific angles that they need to be in for their sport, or what we're going to prepare them to do in later phases. Fresh off a season, it's recovery.
Yeah.
So it's more parasympathetic. It's re-strengthening the tissues, the ligaments, the muscle contractions. So we're doing all these things to help recover them from a very long season.
Yes.
But we're also getting them stronger, because isometrics is a contraction that can make the muscle stronger, but it's less muscle damaging. So they're not going to be sore, as bad they would if I just did eccentrics, right?
Yes.
And so then we do long duration that helps increase, also helps motor control. It teaches them where the the muscles are co-contracting, so it's also speed training, because you can't let yourself fall, so that both muscles are contracting. So we do that a lot, usually for kids post-season in the first day of the week. Then we do pausing. Pausing is a whole nother animal. You're getting pausing in different angles that are either advantageous for their sport, and then we change the contractions each week. And that's kind of based off of what we did on the first day. So we did long duration, pause, and then we'll do another pause, but out of the sagittal plane. So more like.
You guys see a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience with this guy, Ben, here. Just for the people real quick, could you explain omni contraction, the quad current system, just like a layout, like how you would train in the
what I've been taught by Ben, who's the founder of it, Ben Prentice, of the quad current.
Very humble, but shout out Ben.
Yeah. I'm humble. I'm not taking credit for things that I was.
No, 100%.
But he invented the quad current system, which is his system. But it's so you have each day is a contraction emphasis. So you have eccentric, isometric, and concentric, right? And plyometric, right?
Yeah.
So based off the person, they all need certain types of contraction. They all need certain types of strengths. So it's people really want to overcomplicate it by doing because we have force plates. Shout out Hawkins, best force plates in the game. We have force plates, and we use those, and we'll do all the testing, and we'll see the number. And we're like, okay, yeah, this person needs this, this, and this. But the quad current covers it all.
Yeah.
If they need more force, eccentric. If they need more plyo, the plyo day, isometric. And so it all works together. So it's a very, I wouldn't say simple system, but it's a simple system because all the blocks are being checked because you're doing every contraction in the week.
Yeah.
So say, for instance, we do an eccentric day on Monday, which is your basic, 5 seconds down, slower, more force-driven. Then we'll do our ISO the next day. So usually start with long duration, and we'll make sure we're holding it in the deepest ranges of motions for up to 2 to 5 minutes of certain exercises. That potentiates, helps them recover. Then Wednesday was our mobility day, so we do soma training, we do Aldoa, stuff like that. Whatever they basically need to help mobility. we'll find that out in the assessment.
Yeah.
Or they have it completely off if they don't want to do it, or pull work, stuff like that. Then Thursday, based off the phase, usually the first phase will be our sled day, so our aerobic or conditioning day.
Yeah.
So we look at their sport, we look at where their body fat is, if they have to lose some certain areas of body fat. So that's more of our sled day, more conditioning day. And then our last day depends on the phase, but it will be a loaded stretch day, a concentric day, depending on what they would really need the most to help prepare them.
Talking about loaded stretch days, how do you feel about stretching in general?
I mean, if it makes you feel good, do it. I mean, there's some guys that are very, very sympathetic, very like intense, like you, that stretching can put them in a parasympathetic state that could actually help them perform.
Yeah.
Because if you're really, really bound up, like we have a kid that's a hell of a pitcher for us, and I love that kid to death, and he's so intense that he benefits from foam rolling. He benefits from stretching because he needs to come down because he's so wound up that going into the game, like he's using so much energy that as a pitcher sometimes you don't want to go in, or even any athlete go in very tense. You want to be relaxed. So he's the opposite, where he's a dopamine driven guy, so like he needs that. So I'm not against it.
Yeah, no, of course.
I think it's not right for everybody. I love mobility more than flexibility. I love mobility more than stretching, in my 100%. Opinion. But we do prescribe it to certain people that will need it.
So more like stressed out people, to put it.
Yeah, or if you're just really tight, like you do the assessment and you're really, really tight in the hamstrings or stuff like that, we'll add some static stretching, but mainly more mobility driven. I mean, we get mobility driven into our lifts, like our split squats, like knee over toe, full range of motion, our sled work, our lateral. Like, so people are always stuck in one plane, the sagittal plane. If we go lateral, we get different types of movements in you and have you turn and change direction a lot more. You gain better mobility naturally.
Exactly. So let's start from the beginning again, right? Because now you use this quad current system, which in your eyes you think this is it. Yeah. How has this developed? What did you start out with, and why has it developed this far?
Because I'm PICP certified, so Poliquin heavy, and and before that I was using Westside barbell, modified, conjugate, not totally like that. I did that for a while and I got great results, like upper body max effort, lower body, then dynamic upper and lower, like that all worked. Like I had great success with guys, but I've come to find out I had success with guys like that because the success was driven because they were so novice. Yeah. They adapted really well to that training, right? So they got good results, great. But then I'm like, okay, they come back again, it didn't work as well. Yeah. I changed it. I changed everything up. Everything was different. It didn't work that well because, I'm thinking for instance, I had a pro baseball player who he plays for the Orioles now, but I had him when he was in AA and AAA, and we did one phase of modified like conjugate, and he had great results. Great. And the next year, he's a year older. He plays sport. You beat up, come back a year. Yeah. So I did it again, and I tried to change it up, and he had a good year. I'm gonna get to my next point after that. But he had a good year, and it was great. But he had some injuries. Like he felt tight. His neck was always tight. He had some feet issues, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then the next year we did it again, and I tried up more like Poliquin, undulate periodization, upper lower. All that. I'm like, okay, he got big. Yeah. But he was performing still really well in baseball, but the gym metrics and the stuff that I needed to improve for his sport wasn't going up. I'm like, that's weird. And then I read a lot about Ben Prentice and his stuff, and I thought about it, and I'm like, let me try this. And I tried it, and guys recovered better, which is the main point. And it adapted better to their training and in their sport, and the transfer to sport was so much better than what I was doing that they were like, I feel stronger, I feel way more explosive for my sport than I ever did, and I feel like we did less. I'm like, exactly, because you're an athlete, not a power lifter.
Works smarter and harder at the same time. Yeah,
so it works. And then, now he's, having success and doing everything well, but like I said, he's a very good baseball player. Yeah. So, you could have like the worst training system in the world, and if you're the greatest baseball player in the world, you're going to be good in your sport. You're going to maybe have some issues with injury, not be able to play as long if you don't have a good training program. But you got to have some humbleness in your game and be like, okay, this guy is great at baseball. I'm not the one that he hits a homer off of a curveball. Like, my training doesn't make him hit a curveball better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so having better understanding of your role and your part of what you do as a strength coach for these pro athletes that are just gifted on the team sport. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're an Olympian, it's different.
It's different.
But a team sport, you gotta have some humbleness to yourself and be like, okay, yeah, this guy won Rookie of the Year on a team that was hot and he was killing it. Yes, I had a little bit of part of that success, but I'm not the main reason why he was there.
Yeah.
He's a great baseball player or football player. So having that humbleness hit me early in my career helped me understand and make better adjustments for my athletes in training, to where, like, am I going to lift this guy like really fucking hard because I want to show him I'm the man, or am I going to lift this guy to make sure he's moving correctly for his sport, fixing some issues having in his hip and his feet, and then make him feel really good and strong and make it transfer to his sport? I'd rather do that than the other part.
No, 100%. I think what you said is huge, because everything has to be into context. Because I feel like so many people now online is like bombarded with so much different information, but things have to be set into context. Especially for me in the beginning, I was also like super big with the Poliquin, every little thing. But I didn't know the context of each specific thing. Yeah. I didn't know that, like certain things only apply to certain things.
Yeah.
That's why like I feel like I got very strong, but then it didn't transfer as well. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, like I'm not against Poliquin.
No, not at all.
No, I'm not. But like, you know, some of our young 8th graders, 7th graders, you train them like that because they need strength.
Exactly,
they need
context.
Size. So if the context is what you take out of it, you got to ask questions to know more. Like, Instagram has no context in any post that you see. So it's like, if I see a guy doing this, and this, or I see him doing this drill, like, you don't know why he gave him that drill. You don't know why, if he's just doing it for Instagram. Like, you don't know these things. So when athletes will choose gyms based off of who's there training and the coach, but what have they done? What have they produced? Why are they doing these things? You need to ask these questions before you sign up and train with someone, because through Instagram, you think they're great because that's what they're training you to do. Yeah. Step in their gym and see what they do.
Since we're on Instagram, let's talk about Instagram real quick. How have you seen athletes first walk in here, first time ever? How has Instagram has it brainwashed their brains in certain things? Oh, I've seen this guy do that. Why don't I have to do it? Or even their parents, because I remember we talked about this a few days ago. Yeah. How you fix those problems with those people that come in and think this is the way because they saw it on the internet, but you're like, no, look, this is the way.
Just with experience and science, like I'll do the assessment on them, and as we do like an hour and a half assessment. We use output, we use the mobility of the hip, ankle, everything. We do the force plate, we do overhead. Like, we do so much testing that it's like overload of testing. But we get every information. How they move, how fast do they move, how much force they produce, everything. From their feet, if they're flat-footed, if they can't move their big toes, like everything. So when I get all that and they say, he needs to do this, this, and this, and I look, I'm like, okay, well, your son or daughter has these problems, you think that he's safe to do that. And they're like, oh. I'm like, so you're seeing this guy or girl who's doing this really advanced exercise, which is, you don't know how long it took them to actually do that. He's just showing you one session on one day. You don't know if it took a year for them to do that. Context. So I use social media to help grow my business, but I really, I at first thought it was great. Then hearing from other strength coaches that I respect, how they hate it, then I'm like, okay, why do they hate it? And I look at it, I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing it more. And I'm seeing these trainers post these, athletes doing all this shit wrong. And, and it's wrong in my eyes. It could be right in their eyes, it could be right in your eyes. But for me, knowing how training should be, I'm like, okay, how is this possible? Mm-hmm. Because they're selling it on social media and they're selling what they're doing, but it's not necessarily, you're not understanding why they're doing it. And they don't even know why they're doing it. It's just to get more Instagram followers and more clout. Yeah. So I don't really care if I get people to follow me or not. I don't. Like, I'm the worst.
Guy Ben.
I'm the worst at Instagram. I just do it because I know I have to do it for business. I wish it wasn't that way, but I mean, I'll get athletes that show up that said they've seen me on Instagram for 5 years and now they want to join because they've seen what I've done in 5 years. I'm like, I respect that.
Yeah.
Like, I do. 100%. I really do. So, like, they want to see, instead of just seeing, oh, I trained this one pro guy, come to me, I'm the greatest. No. They saw year in, year out, I got more. And
the journey.
And they're like, you must be doing something right. I'm all in. Those are the ones I love because they know they're coming into something that's successful, not someone they see on social media. Hey, you train football, guys? Yeah, we should do. I want to do this. I want to run in the sand. I want to do this. I'm like, okay, no, that's not doing anything for you. Mm-hmm. That's not. And I've lost clients because I won't do that, and I don't really care, because they'll go to someone that will, and they'll never get better, and then they'll come back to me and want me to train them.
So you keep your standards.
Yeah.
Your standards, 100%.
I'll compromise.
Yeah.
If the argument is good, I'll compromise, but I'm going to do what I want to do and be who I want to be, and if you don't align with that, then it's not a good business fit.
Before I let you go, what drives you? What gets you up in the morning? Is it your family? Is the passion for coaching? What drives you?
My family, for one. Mm-hmm. But I failed in football. I failed, and my goal was to be in the NFL. My goal was to help my mom retire, my dad retire.
Yeah.
My goal was to be that. That's all I was, and I failed. And you can even ask my mom this in myself. I told myself when I was done, I'm going to go all in on this, and I'm going to be successful in this, because I was a failure before, and that still is like I'm getting upset about it. It still pisses me off that I failed. And I want to be as successful in this as I possibly can, so when I die, I can lay down and be like, you know what? I built something that was fucking successful. Because I was a failure before. Yeah. And I don't want my son to see me as a failure. I want my son to see me as his hero and as a guy who was successful, that built something honestly, and who they were, and doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me. I wake up every morning. I'm human. I don't want to go to work, man. I'm fucking tired. I'm sore. But then I'm like, no, I fucking love this. What's today? Tuesday? Oh, we got ISOs today. Yeah. Going in. Like, I'm excited. And that's what drives me, is my family, my wife and my son, and not wanting to be a failure. I got that taste when I graduated and nothing was after. I'm done. Yeah. Shit, life is hitting me in the fucking face. Then I'm like, you know what? I can't fail again. I just cannot. And I when I first started, I called my dad up. I was working out at someone's gym, at one client. I wasn't making zero money. I was barely affording my life, and I'm like, Dad, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna be a cop, or I'm gonna be a firefighter.
Yeah.
And my dad told me on the phone. He goes, I don't see you as that, Ben. Don't quit. And then my high school coach, Coach Brock, he told me that when I was playing in high school, that you look like you're gonna be a coach one day. No, I'm not. He goes, you're gonna be a coach. And this is my passion. Like, this is what I love to do. So
that's awesome.
What drives me every day is just to be fucking excellent every day.
What I've seen meeting a lot of successful people, it's always like that one failure, like in the past, that has put them into like a certain mindset to succeed no matter what. Because like that failure right there, that drives them to this day to be successful. Yeah. So, and you just another example of that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's inspiring. Like, real talk.
Successful people always have someone that taught them to be successful. So, getting a good mentor that's been through it all. Like, I'm so grateful for mine, because he's told me things where he messed up at, so I don't make the same mistake. And he gives me another outlook on life and business and training that I would never have gotten if I just didn't put down my, ego and like, no, I'm the greatest. No, let me learn from this guy. Okay, I realize I'm not. Because every time I talk to this man, I learn like 1,000 new things. I'm like, shit, like this is awesome. Like, so, like, for me, any advice for anyone that wants to do this as a career, it's like, be humble, learn, never stop learning. And if you learn from someone that's been doing it longer than you, that has some success, don't be an asshole. Ask questions, but not in an asshole way. And learn. And take what you want, use it, or discard the rest that you don't want to use. And constantly learn and be yourself. Don't be who you're not. Because, I was that way at once, and my life was terrible. Now that I'm who I am, my business is thriving, and I'm happy, and I'm getting the clients I want, and we're having success that way. I have 2 employees now, And it just becomes to where you find who you are in your success. And you got to have someone to help you, because no one was born a business owner. No one was born a trainer. Relax. Everyone's good at training. You know, you're not reinventing the wheel. You know, flywheels were invented in like 1920 or something. Like, they've been around forever. Like, you're not the first one doing something. So have some humbleness in your life, in your game, and just grind and never stop, and just be excellent and be the best person you can be, and you will grow. And you have to stay consistent. If you do not get instant success off of 1 month of owning your business, doesn't mean you're a failure. If you're doing it for social media likes, if you're trying to get clients through social media, it won't work. All my clients are word of mouth. Everyone I've ever gotten were referrals from other clients that I've had great results with, or I worked with a little bit and they just couldn't be here anymore and they referred other people. I love referrals. If I get anyone that's like from social media, great, I still talk to them, I do everything the same. But when I get someone saying, hey, so-and-so referred me, I know they know what they're getting into, so I can show them how it's going to be.
100%. Man, I think you said it all. I was trying to get right into that.
I have a question.
Oh, our producer has a question.
I don't know if they can hear me. Should I come closer to you?
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote it down. Okay, so you were speaking about your identity in football.
Yeah.
And you had to separate football and your identity, like, completely. And you spoke about that month. You spoke about that month. What were some things that you did to help you understand your identity and that you were not football, especially with like the heartbreak? Yeah. So
that's a great question.
When I got back from playing college football and I was working, you know, I was, you know, college football players, we party, we drink, we have a good time, and I was still living that life, but I wasn't a football player, right? And I'd go home and visit my family and all my people around my neighborhood, you know, family and all that. Hey, what's up, football Ben? Like, I was a football player. That's all I was. How's football? I'm not playing, you know. And it just became, I'm like, that's not who I am anymore. And I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, who the fuck am I? Who am I? Like, all I know is football. And so it took a lot of reflection on myself, and I went and got help. I went to this thing called P3, which helps you deal with things in your life that are heartaches, that you know, someone dies or you were abused as a kid or whatever. I went there to find myself. I mean, there's people in there with way more issues than me that I felt like, why the hell am I here? Like, I'm just, well, who am I? But they figured out what was my trigger. They figured it out, and I confronted it. And then I came out. The very next day, I'm kidding you not, Julian, I signed up, started my LLC, rented space, and started my gym because I found out who I was. I let go of my identity of thinking I'm a football player. No, I'm Ben DeLaCruz. I am going
from DeLaCruz Sports Performance,
and I'm going to be the best father, husband, and strength coach I can be, because I needed to be that example for my son, and I needed to be that example for myself, and let me know that I can do it. So like every year it goes by in my business, and I get more successful. I'm like, great, but don't stop.
Yeah.
Because in football, when I went to college, I walked in, I'm like, I made it. I'm at a D1 school, I'm going to play, no doubt. Nope, I forgot. All these guys here are the best on their team, and they have the same gender as me. So for me, there's gyms all over the damn place here. There's gyms down the road there. There's gyms. I don't care about them. They think I don't care. I do not care what you're doing. I guarantee you, you're not getting the results I'm getting. I guarantee you're not doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You're not
stay in your lane.
You're not doing the volume of clients I'm doing. You're not doing the amount of reps I've seen. Like, they're not. And I'm not.
You're not.
And I'm not trying to brag or anything. All I'm saying is that I'm staying focused on what I'm doing because I know who I am, and I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm trying to impress myself, and I'm trying to impress God, and I'm trying to impress my family. And at the end of the day, I can go to sleep and know that I did what I can do for that person, and if they still don't like it, nothing I can do.
I mean, truly inspiring, man. Like,
separate to elevate.
Separate to elevate. I mean, guys, I think, Ben, thank you so much. If you're in Orlando, you know where you guys gotta go to. DeLaCruz Sports Performance. My guy Ben DeLaCruz, man, game changer. Best facility in Orlando, hands down.
Yeah.
Go follow him at
DeLaCruz Performance on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Ben DeLaCruz DSP. And if you need a house in Orlando or anywhere in Florida, my wife's the best realtor in town.
There you go. Guys, thanks for watching. Separate to elevate. We're out.